Okay, let's look at the problem of the day. Now, when you do a problem like this, when you're factoring, it says factor the problem. You're looking for the biggest number first that will go into all three terms. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. That underlined in red is the first term. Okay, the second term I've underlined in blue, and the third term I've underlined in black. Okay, now what we're looking for is the biggest number that goes into three terms. Currently I have three terms, 1, 2, 3, so this is a trinomial. I'm looking for the biggest number that goes into each. 6 is the largest number that goes into each, so I'm going to take it out of it. All right, in other words, I'm going to divide this term by 6. I'm going to divide this term by 6, and I'm going to divide this term by 6, right? Okay, now we look at the variables. We want to take out what they all have in common. This has a cubed, this has a squared, and this has a to the 4th. What's the most that they all have? A squared. So I'm going to divide this one by a squared, I'm going to divide this one by a squared, and I'm going to divide this one by a squared. Okay, in other words, I'm taking an a squared out of this one, an a squared out of this one, and an a squared out of this one, and I'm putting it right in front, right next to the 6, a squared right there. Now look at the b's. How many b's are here? 2, 3 in the second term, and 2 in the last. What's the most that any of them all have? 2, so I'm going to take a b squared out of each as well. I'm taking b squared out of each, right? And so I'm going to write it right here. Now, in parentheses, since my original polynomial has 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, then what's in the parentheses must be a trinomial. Okay? Now, what goes in the parentheses is the result after I divide. 6 divided by 6 is 1. A cubed divided by a squared is just a. And b squared divided by b squared is nothing, right? Okay, then I'll put minus negative 6 divided by, negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. A squared divided by a squared cancels. And b cubed divided by b squared is just what? B. Plus 18 divided by 6 is 3. A to the 4th divided by a squared is a squared. And then b squared divided by b squared cancels, doesn't it? So what you can see right here is the result after I what? Factored out 6a squared b squared, right? And I factored it completely, and here's one of the ways you can know if you factored it completely. If you look at what's left, do all these have an a I can factor out? No, see, this one doesn't even have an a, does it? And do all these have a b? And what's the biggest number that goes into all three? Just 1. And so if your resulting trinomial has nothing that can be factored out, then you know you factored it completely. Right?